That's right, I'm in Artsakh again. Hello everyone, it's Michael. Welcome to Sovereign Artsakh. I'm doing something a little different today. If you'll recall, a couple weeks ago I posted a video when I visited Artsakh right here in Glendale, California. All right, I have not been to Artsakh. I will go there one day. But today we're doing something a little different, a little walk down memory lane. So previously in that video I posted a few weeks ago, I pointed out a coffee shop down this street, about 2 blocks that way, where I met the producer of The Promise. I had my first meeting with Ralph Winter at that coffee shop. So that's about 2 blocks that way. Right here at the end of Artsakh Street is the Glendale Public Library, or Glendale Central Library. And this is a place where I first visited about 3 years ago with my historian. This walk down memory lane is kind of visiting the Holy Land for me, where this project first started. And I'm just going to point out some important locations. So I've already pointed out that coffee shop, this library right here, and right down here where I'm walking, that's Artsakh, and this is Harvard, and then right up here is Brand. All right, so there's a big mall over here. Now, let me tell you about this mall. The day I first heard the words Armenian genocide, maybe it wasn't the first day I heard those words, but it was the first time it registered with me that this is something important that I needed to look into. I was in a building down the street. It's maybe like 5 blocks that way, and when we get down to the corner, maybe you'll be able to see it. But I was sitting on the 6th floor of this building, and this guy says you should look into the Armenian genocide. I get out of that meeting and I go to my car and I open up my phone just to check my email, and a news headline hits me square in the face. It says Armenian genocide movie. So I just heard the words from a guy, I was pitching ideas to. I first heard those words, and then I see those words within minutes. And to me, it was clear that I was being communicated to, that my path was being guided in this direction. But what that news article was saying, the Armenian genocide movie, it was talking about a documentary called Intent to Destroy. No, Architects of Denial. There were 2 documentaries that came out around the same time. Architects of Denial, that news article was talking about how the producers of that movie, Dean Cain and Montel Williams, were trying to get advertising posted here at the Americana on Brand. They were trying to get advertising posted here for their documentary, and somebody in charge was saying, no, that's a political documentary, you can't post political blah blah blah, which I found confusing, because Glendale is there's somewhere between 25 and 40% of the population of Glendale, California is Armenian. That's anywhere between 50 to 80,000 Armenians that live in this town. So this is Armenia West, as far as I'm concerned. There's Armenia, the actual country in Europe, or Eastern Europe. But this is Glendale, California, the single biggest Armenian population concentrated outside of the country of Armenia. So that news article that first day was just saying this documentary is coming out this week, and they're arguing about advertising here. And it was like, that's incredible. So I'm not going to walk all the way down there, but where I had that meeting is down this street. There's this one tall building you see, but it's a couple blocks further down on this side. You can't really see it, but it's about 4 or 5 blocks that way at the corner of Brand and Lexington. Another thing about that building, which I would find out as I started pursuing this project, I'm going to walk back this way and finish this walk down memory lane. As I started pursuing this project, within a few weeks of that meeting, and this guy saying, look into the Armenian genocide, I go to this bookstore called Abril Bookstore, which is about 3 blocks that way. So you go down to where that coffee shop is, go another block or 2 and turn right. It's like, used to be on Broadway. It has since moved, it has since relocated. But I went to that bookstore, and that's where I met my historian, Armen Manuk Khaloyan. I also got connected with the family of Shahan Nadali, the grandson of Shahan Nadali, one of the masterminds of Operation Nemesis. And I also got connected with my investor, who I've now incorporated in intellectual property, and we own the Soghomon Tehlirian story. Oh, let me take a break right here. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe now if you want to be updated. I'm giving you a walk down memory lane over the past 3 years of my research, but the future is bright. Good things are coming. I hesitate to go into detail. Good things are coming about, regarding this project. All right, so subscribe to this channel, click like, and share it. Share it with people. All right, so within a few weeks, by the way, the movie did come out, and they were able to advertise here. So Architects of Denial, they were able to advertise an Armenian genocide movie in Glendale, a heavily populated Armenian community. So that's just kind of scratching the surface of things that have happened here in this town. It's like every time I come here, it feels like home away from home. Like I've been guided here. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. This library, I've checked out. I have 2 books checked out right now. One is the memoir of Armen Garo, one of the other masterminds of Operation Nemesis. He wrote his own memoir. And the other is a memoir of General Andranik Osmanian, a famous heroic general from World War I and prior. So I have those 2 memoirs checked out for content for the project we're working on. So this is an important place. Yeah, so a little different today, a little walk down memory lane. Remember to subscribe and share, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Something I forgot to mention. I didn't hit stop. I hit paused on the recording because I was like, is there something else I wanted to say? All right. Another crazy thing that happened in that building where I was on the 6th floor, where that guy said you should look into the Armenian genocide. A month later, I meet this guy, Armen, or a few weeks later, it's like 2 weeks, maybe a month later, I meet this guy, Armen Manukaloyan. And it turns out that he worked for the guy for 7 years. He was the staff historian for a guy named Varkis Yegian, who is an Armenian lawyer who recuperated some of the insurance policies that the Ottoman, he worked in recuperating some of the things the Ottomans stole from Armenians after they massacred them, etc. And so Armen worked in that guy's office. That guy's office was on the 12th floor of that same building. So before I'd even started working on the Armenian genocide project, I was in the building where that guy's offices were. And it turns out my meeting in that office was 2 days after Vartkis passed away. So I found all this out after the fact. So his law offices were on the 12th floor, and I was on the 6th floor, never even having, Armenian genocide was not on my radar. But then I hear about it, I start pursuing it, I meet this guy. Actually, I read the court transcript, and Vartkis had translated the court transcript, and that's how I found all this out. I went to the bookstore, said, this is the Soghomon Tehlirian trial transcript that's been translated into English. I read it. Who is this guy Vartkis? I look in it. It's like his address is in Glendale. I found out his address is right there on the 12th floor of the building I've been in. And then I meet the kid who worked in that office. All of these things happened within the first month that I was pursuing this. Like I've just hot on the trail. Never mind the fact that I'd never even heard the Soghomon Tehlirian story. Never mind the fact that I'd never even heard of Talat Pasha, the Hitler of World War I, right? The inspiration for Adolf Hitler. I'd never heard these things because they've been suppressed. And now I have this opportunity to bust out the truth. My whole pursuit was to expose injustices. Exposing injustices is justice in itself, right? Revealing the truth. There's this guy, this psychologist that I highly regard, and he's done lots of research. He's had his private practice. He's been a professor, and he reads Dostoevsky, and he talks about how genocides have arisen in the past, and how how these things develop and how we can avoid them. And one of the things he says to do, if you want to do something, like we shouldn't depend on somebody out there. We shouldn't depend on the president of the United States. We shouldn't depend on these people. We got to do it ourselves. And that's what I'm doing. I'm internalizing, like, what can I do to right this wrong? And obviously making a story about this greatest story never told is the way I refer to it, so that the world can see it. Well, one of the things this guy says is, if you want to find meaning in your life and fulfillment, he says, find the heaviest thing you can carry and carry it. And in the metaphor is, like weightlifters, like you want to become stronger, you want to push yourself, lift up the heaviest weight, and you will fulfill that. But in a metaphorical sense, what's the heaviest thing you personally can carry as far as responsibility? And, I heard that concept after I started on this project, and it's like, what's heavier than genocide? What's a greater evil that should be exposed? Exposing a genocide that's been covered and suppressed actively with hundreds of millions of dollars and diplomacy between nations to cover up an evil. So I'm picking it up. The Armenian genocide, the Christian Holocaust of World War I. What's heavier than that? I can't think of anything heavier. And I'm going to lift it. I'm going to lift it high and show the world as an act of justice. All right. Now, that's it.